it's a nice thing that Unity continues to update for software developers at the end of the day. And I want to go into this little scene right here and show you guys a little bit of the ray trace ambient occlusion that I was experimenting with on my upcoming game. And also this is a little bit of the implementation of how some of the gameplay is going to be. The game originally is definitely inspired a lot by Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 4. So I don't intend on having jump scares in the game, right? That's not the point. But the thing is that I was just on Unity 6.3 on this same project for the last maybe year now, because I've remade this project about 3 or 4 times, and I'm on the last blueprint, if not the second to last blueprint for this game right now, right? And so I'm definitely like in my later blueprints for this project. But I remember just like a couple of months ago, I could not open up DirectX 12 on this project. And I just noticed that Unity 6.4, I don't know when it released, but I noticed that it finally came out just within this last whatever, right? And so I decided to upgrade my project to it. And when I was on Unity 6.3, I couldn't even open the project. You had to get that weird, stuttery, weird, glittery stuff, right? But now that I upgraded to Unity 6.4, I can open up DirectX 12 on this project now, which is a beautiful thing. And when I turn on global illumination, ray tracing, it just crashes. Ray marching works, but ray tracing, global illumination doesn't work. It's just too powerful for the system of Unity. But ray trace ambient occlusion looks really good. It does not take a lot of this GPU power. And I really like what ray trace ambient occlusion is looking like in the Unity engine at the end of the day. And so I think that within this specific project, I'm probably just going to keep it ray trace with ambient occlusion, kind of like Callisto Protocol and kind of like the Battlefield games, where I don't have a super expensive version of ray tracing implemented. And this is also DLSS 4.5 on the K module, right? And so it's the best looking module. There's no ghosting at all. This is DLAA native. It's not on DLSS quality. This is DLAA native at the end of the day. So it is DLSS, but it's just the native version. And it looks really good. It looks really good. The game looks so good that this RTX 4070 cannot run the game in 4K. That's how graphically the HDR render pipeline is right now. And so I get to take this time to experiment with ray tracing a little more, but for whatever reason, when I turn on path tracing, Unity will crash. When I turn on ray trace global illumination, Unity will crash. And so I went to the CMD script for the config, and then I turned the fallback render from 0 to 1, and it kind of made it a little more stable. It's not all the way stable yet. So I just think that Unity and DirectX 12, I just don't think that ray tracing, the Unity engine itself is all the way ready for DirectX 12 with ray tracing implemented all the way because of the memory leaks. But for the most part, it's a lot more stable than 6.3 because I was never even able to open up this project with the DirectX 12. And so now I'm experimenting with ray trace ambient occlusion. I still have to master the preset a little bit, but it looks really good, and I really like where I'm going with it. Some of the areas are still a little too dark with my ray trace ambient occlusion, but eventually I'll get it down to where it looks as good as what I want it to be. But yeah, so I hope that all my fellow Unity software developers out there can definitely, experiment with ray tracing on DirectX 12, because for me, for whatever reason, on 6.4, it seems a lot more stable for the fact that I can even open the project and turn the ray traced ambient occlusion on. So I don't really know if 6.7 is available yet, but I know that 6.4 just released, right? And so I know they have the long-term support 6.7 in the works, and I may upgrade this project to that if this project isn't finished by the time that comes out, because we still have a long way for that. But right now I'm on 6.4, and I don't know if it's the LTS version or not, but we'll see what happens from that standpoint, you know. So yeah, good luck with all my fellow software developers with all their projects they're working on, you know, because I finally want to get this project up and going. You know, it's going to be really fun. Like I said, I don't plan on relying on jump scares, but the game is definitely inspired by Silent Hill Homecoming, Silent Hill 4, the Doom PlayStation franchises, and then it's also inspired by a little bit of Hellraiser as well. So I'm basically taking ideas from all three of those franchises and implementing it into one project and creating my own little universe, and see where we go with it. I do have plans on some weird universe in this project. I don't know what it's called yet, but I don't want to give too much details, but it's going to be a really... with my 13 and a half, 14 years of Unity experience, I think that I'm ready now to actually finally start building the game that I've always wanted to build. And with this same project, this is probably my fourth implementation of this project. This is like my third, fourth implementation of this project. And so the original time when I started this project was back in 2018 or 2020, somewhere around there. So this game originally has been in the makes for maybe about 5 years, more or less, somewhere around there. So yeah, but yeah, God bless you guys, man. Like, subscribe, don't matter.